Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It is Monday, December 12th, 2022. The holidays are coming upon us very, very quickly. And one of the things in my inbox that I have heard multiple times is, oh my gosh, what am I going to do for gift ideas? So to help me get through this, guess who's with me? None other than Engineer Randy Walker. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and I might use some of these ideas to buy gifts for my loved ones as well.
Yeah, because, time's a ticking, sir. I still got people on my list.
Yeah, today's the 12th, so we have 12 more days to buy if you're cutting it close.
Are you getting a partridge in a pear tree?
I'm not.
How about 5 Lords of Leaping? I think you would like 5 Lords of Leaping.
Well, there's a lot more than 5 Lords of Leaping, according to the song.
How many Lords is it?
I don't know. Is it 10 Lords of Leaping? I was looking through this the other day. I know it's a very bird-heavy Christmas. And at the end of the song, you end up with 42 geese and 42 swans.
It's 10 Lords of Leaping.
10 Lords of Leaping.
So would you like 10 Lords of Leaping?
Well, it would be 30 because you get 10 Lords of Leaping on the 10th day. And then
you get multiple Lords? Is this how this works?
Well, then you get 10 more on the 11th day, and you get 10 more on the 12th day. They're cumulative.
I didn't know that these were cumulative Lords. I thought this was only like 10 Lords. That's what you get. Then the next day, you get more stuff. But you don't get another 10 Lords.
They're cumulative. So by the end of the 12 days of Christmas, according to the song, you get somewhere north of 370-ish gifts.
Well, we don't have 370-ish gifts, but we do have more than 15 Michigan gift ideas for your favorite Michigander. And no, I'm not using Michiganian.
No, Michigander all the way.
All the way, all the way. So we're going to hit a bunch of different categories here. It'll be a veritable cornucopia of gift ideas. Randy and I have been working on this for a couple of days now, kind of thinking about not just what is in the Michigan category, but stuff that we actually have experience with, or we've given to other people, or that we've received and appreciated.
Yeah, some of these ideas or suggestions are a specific item, but some of these are more just broad categories from a particular vendor or local merchant.
Yeah. And to be clear, we probably should do this differently, but we don't have any sponsors for this. Like, none of this is sponsored. We didn't clear it with anybody. This is just
us brainstorming.
Let's get into a first category that I think a lot of our listeners will be into. I'm just going to call it Detroit-themed stuff.
Yeah,
right? Because there's a whole market for stuff that's kind of Detroit-y in one way or another. And, if you're in this studio, you'll see a bunch of Detroit-y things completely surrounding us. Some of the things that I've gotten, one gift that I really appreciated was a set of art prints from Detroit GT in Ferndale. It's a really cool look that they have, very modern kind of minimalist take on buildings and things like that for the art prints. They also do some clothing, and one of them I know that you own.
Yeah, I have a Sleeping Bears Dunes t-shirt. So it's a play on Sleeping Bear Dunes. It's 2 bears, which it's a term for large, hairy men lounging on sand dunes.
I appreciate that one. Great. That one makes me smile. When you wore that in Memphis, I was like, yes, and what I love about it is that it's funny but subtle.
Yes.
Like, if you're not paying attention, you're going to be like, what? Oh. I really like that kind of gift. And great local creator in the Rust Belt market. So you can just go up there and pick up your stuff.
Yeah, it's a great little shop there inside the Rust Belt.
Now, just kind of like a mile or 2 miles down the road, down Livernois, you could check out the 313 store. That's got a lot of different clothing, jackets, like the varsity jacket style with the big letters, really colorful imprints, stuff that plays on sports teams. 313 has a whole different vibe to itself. And with all of these places, I wanted to highlight places that all each had its own vibe, so that when you go to their websites, and we'll put a link to all of these in the show notes, as well as include them in a special edition of our Daily Detroit newsletter, every single place has a little bit different vibe depending on who you are shopping for. Because if we just recommended one place for some of these, it's you're going to miss a whole bunch of the population of what people like, Another one, of course, is the old stalwart Pure Detroit. They've been around forever and a day. You'll find everything from shirts to seatbelt, purses. That's the thing they do. There's a lot of Detroiticana, where it's Detroit stuff, but pictures and coasters and books and all that. So it's a real grab bag of things.
And Detroit brands too. I'm particularly fond of the Fago logo t-shirts that they sell.
Another one I will mention that has really come up in recent years, Well Done Goods.
Well Done Goods is located over in Eastern Market, and they have a variety of print options available on a variety of textiles. You can get the same print on a sweatshirt, on a hat, on a patch, on a t-shirt, on a turntable cover.
You know, those turntable pads or covers, I like to use those as mouse pads, low key.
Oh, that's clever. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like a little creative. I used to have one from another place we are going to mention. I was looking at it actually at Noel night. I'll mention that place in the future. You know, and in this kind of Detroit themed good list, you also have Nest and City Bird. And a specific thing I would call out is doing the etched glasses.
Yeah, they have Detroit neighborhood names etched into the glasses, and you can pick your neighborhood. They have some standard ones and they have some less common ones, but you can get any neighborhood you want etched into a glass.
They'll even do custom work for you, which is pretty cool. They also have a ton of selection of interesting gifts and stuff. They're actually a pair of stores. They're next to each other in Midtown, and they've been around for a while. They're good to support. I will say that like all of this list here, I'll walk down where they are. So Detroit GT, Rust Belt and Ferndale. 313 is on the Avenue of Fashion on Livernois. Pure Detroit has a couple of locations that I know are open regularly, and that would be the Fisher Building, and then one on Alexandrine near Woodward. Well Done Goods is in Eastern Market, and Nest and City Bird is in Midtown on Canfield. This next category, Randy, is near and dear to our livers. And that,
Yes, exactly.
and that would be the booze category. There are some great products coming out of Detroit and Michigan to take a look at. You go first.
Number one, longtime friend of the show and a longtime favorite of the Daily Detroit team is Norden Aquavit.
Yes.
This gift is good for someone who is looking for something new and interesting because aquavit is not a big category of spirits in the United States. It's good for people who like gin as a little twist because it's got a lot of the same flavors of gin. Like juniper is in aquavit, but it's usually more caraway or dill forward. So a couple of different gifty categories there for you to funnel a bottle of aquavit to.
Yeah, there's varieties too. They've got the regular, and then they've also got one that they've done with that. It's strawberry, right?
Strawberry, rhubarb, hibiscus, and rose. And then they have a barrel aged one.
I've tried the strawberry. I really like that one a lot. And although I'm a gin fan, it is different than gin. I think it's definitely worth giving a try, even if you're not a gin person. Like, give it a sip and give it a shot.
Yeah, last Christmas I gave a bottle of it to a gin drinking friend, and he really enjoyed it.
And it's distilled here, and then I believe the owner like has a farm out in like near Ann Arbor or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So stretching across the metro area. One we want to mention is over at Valentine. There's a couple of spirits I like. One, me particularly, I like to do their Pingree bourbon. It's fun. Like, it's got a cool name. I love the Pingree, the whole thing with it. It's a decent drinking drink. And then you like the vodka, and that surprises me.
It's a flavored vodka, but it's not sickeningly sweet and artificially flavored. It is their white blossom vodka, which has a nice floral scent and flavor to it.
Okay. Honorable mention I want to throw in, if you're looking for a gin, Knickerbocker from the west side of the state, New Holland. They do a really great job. That's in the blue bottle.
We're reaching all across the state for some of these gifts.
Doing the best we can. Now, this one's up your alley, Randy.
Yeah, this is a product called Mitten Mixers, and what it is a jar of dried fruits and spices and sugars that you fill up with your favorite spirit and let it sit in the fridge for a few days. And then you can use that flavored spirit to make cocktails, top it off with soda. They have flavor combinations like citrus and berry or apple and cinnamon. So check those out. There's a flavor profile there for everyone.
And you just put it in there and you let it infuse for a while?
Yeah, you just let it infuse and then strain it out. You can reuse it a couple of times, so it's not a one and done. Once you finish the booze, strain it out, fill it back up.
And how long does it usually take?
Just a couple days to flavor it.
So it's kind of like waiting for your present. It's kind of fun. Like, you get to watch it on the counter.
It's like a DIY project. They even have some more interesting combos, like a s'mores flavor.
Ooh, I could see people being into that. Now, staying in the drinkable category, I do want to get into some Michigan wines because people do love their wines. There are a lot of options. We had Detroit Vineyards on the show talking about a bunch of their stuff. We'll link to the show notes to all that. They also have a tasting space in Eastern Market.
Yeah, so if you aren't sure which bottle of wine to give, maybe a gift certificate to experience the tasting room.
See, and the tasting room takes it up a notch, right? You're giving an experience, not a thing. And I am somebody, as I've gotten older, really likes experiences over things.
Exactly.
Then also a couple of honorable mentions I want to talk about. Black Star Farms and Verterra. You like both of these too.
I like both of these. My mom actually really likes the Black Star Farms, their Arcturus late harvest Riesling.
Yeah. Michigan makes a great Riesling, although it is developing into other flavors. Climate change seems to be a double-edged sword where you've got England making different wines now. And I just heard a story on the radio the other day of winemakers in France buying land in England because climate change is turning the temperature. Well, that same thing is happening here, and it's actually changing some of the profiles of the grapes, which is part of that conversation I had with the Detroit Vineyards guy. But Riesling is still, I think Riesling is something that Michigan is known for and does very well.
Yeah, I was just up in the Leelanau Peninsula this spring.
Now, what about a snack? Because we've had some booze, we've had some things to drink. I think we need a snack. And one I want to nominate that I have actually gotten a couple of times for people is Monger's Provisions. Does an excellent cheese and meat board and everything. And it's the kind of thing that you can just impress people if you have friends or people you love that are into food. You can just impress them with here you go. And it's a whole event. Again, yes, it's a thing, but it's also an experience that you can share stories. Maybe, you know what, you could do a puzzle with someone you love that you picked up from Nest and City Bird while you eat a cheese board from Monger's Provision. It's you can tie these things together, and they do a really great job of matching whatever it is that you're looking to do.
Yeah, they'll customize the experience for you. So if there's a cheese you like, tell them, they'll try and incorporate that. Yeah. It's great. And they have 2 locations. They are up in Berkeley and
Midtown. Right. So you can pick all that stuff up in the same trip.
Exactly.
One that I wanted to mention that has been around for a bazillion years. They do both nut snacks and also coffee. You'll see them in some specialty markets too, is Germac.
Yeah, they're a shop located in Eastern Market. Yep. And so when you're over there picking up something from Well Done Goods, pop into Germac and grab a snack for yourself and also a bag of fancy nuts to give as a gift.
There's someone in my life who is addicted to pistachios.
Oh, really?
So I think there's going to
quite good.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it. I hear it's a great thing to do. Now, this next one you wanted to share, and I want to share it too because I think it's just great to support a local business that's been growing greatly.
Yeah, this business has been around for decades, and they've been on the show several times. It's Ackroyd's Bakery, and the particular gift I want to call out is their shortbread, because not only can you now order it directly from Ackroyd's, you can pick it up at local stores in the area. You can actually order a 3-pack of shortbread on Amazon.
So it's the quick gift, add a Michigan thing while you're doing a bunch of your other shopping.
Exactly.
Yeah. I definitely want to have them on in 2023 because they have done some pretty innovative things, and they, in fact, just expanded in Redford.
Yeah, they moved to a bigger facility with greater production capacity, so they are definitely making moves.
Let's get into a couple of brands that I consider dedicated apparel, right? So we highlighted some things that are more Detroit-Acana, that miscellaneous shirts and whatever. These are 2 brands that have leaned in for years. And I don't think everybody remembers that Carhartt is a Michigan thing. In fact, their factory used to be across from Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, and they're based in Dearborn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of options you could get from Carhartt. You could get a stocking stuffer real cheap, get a Carhartt logo beanie.
Yeah, $20.
Or for that special someone in your life, you could get one of their classic duck coats.
Yeah, or pants. I like good pants. They also have a great series of belts and wallets and some other things. One thing about Carhartt that I appreciate is that no matter what I do, I will always be a bigger man, right? No matter how much weight I lose, I'm a little bit taller, I'm a little bit stockier. And I appreciate that they're one of the places that I can go to and find stuff to try on off the shelf. They don't stick it away in the online store, none of that stuff. You can go in there and get something that's a 2X or, more for some people. You don't feel that shame. And I think that's really awesome that they have those things ready and available to try on. And it looks good. It's cut well for it. And I really appreciate it. And the other thing is to remember too, Carhartt, although a lot of it's work gear, they've got different styles that are more dressed up or halfway dressed up. You could do something that has the belt loop, or you could skip the belt loop altogether on the pants, the hammer loop.
Yeah. And Carhartt has definitely expanded in recent years to be more fashion forward than utilitarian.
Yes, it used to be just okay, I work outside, I need a great thing. And of course, they've always been well made, but this is something where they've gotten into the world of looking even better and then being extremely practical because, Randy, I don't know if you noticed, we still live in Michigan.
It does tend to get cold here.
Yes, it does. This next one is actually based up north. And I have given this as a gift because I think some of the hats are super cute and gives you a lot of options. This is really stuff for the whole family. Stormy Cromer, which has like a lot of wool stuff. And like their caps, they have kind of more of the male style, but they also have more feminine presenting caps. They have like the pedal pusher cap, super cute. There's kid stuff, there's pet stuff. This is just a great Michigan brand that's been around for a while. And again, this is wintertime. It's the perfect time to get somebody something to snuggle up in the next few months until spring, releases us from our cold pressure.
Yeah, do the classic wool cap or do the cap with the fold down ear flaps.
Well, yeah, and they also have one like the Iron Bell hat, which is kind of cute. They've got the pom-pom beanie, like if that's your thing, if that's your vibe. Maybe, if you're more of like a Lululemon sweatpants and beanie hat kind of vibe. Whatever vibe you've got, you can find something there. So, yeah, I appreciate that. And it's something that's like good stuff to the last. So one of these Stormy Cromer caps that I gave more than 10 years ago, I'm still friends with the person I was dating at the time. They still have it and they love it.
They are durable.
Yes, that's key. It's going to cost you a little money, but it's going to be worth it. Now, Randy, this last one I want to slip in was because I was at Noel night this year and I forgot how fun it is to shop at Third Man Records.
I've never actually been in that store.
What? Oh my gosh, you'd love it. You'd love it. Black and yellow everywhere. Tons of fun. Lots of vinyl records, of course, right? Like if you want to get Jack White's or the White Stripes like greatest hits on vinyl in like 3 records, you could do it. You can also go back and see like the pressing plant working depending on when you're there. But they also have lots of little gifts, whether it's, drinkware, or one of the things I saw that I loved was a little wood model that you can pop up and build of their retail store. I thought that was like super cool, with because their logo has the radio tower on it with like the bolts on it and stuff like that. If you got a musician in your life, they've got kinds like pedals and interesting display things. And I mean, Jack White has invested so much in Detroit with the wealth that he has made. He has put it back into this community in a lot of ways. And I feel like it's worth doing that. And if you're going to do a little shopping trip, you may as well enjoy it and support something. Now, I know they also have a store in Nashville, but I mean, come on, the White Stripes, the Hotel Yorba, it's our thing, right?
Exactly. Jer, this was a lot of work putting this list together. So I think maybe next year we should probably start a little earlier and ask listeners for their gift ideas.
Absolutely. In fact, why don't we start now on gift ideas for Valentine's Day?
That's a good one.
dailydetroit@gmail.com. If you've got a business or a thing that you want us to try, whatever, we need to try it. We don't do any of this stuff blind. All of this stuff that we've recommended, you and I have either given or gotten. Randy, I am very thankful for you and thankful that we got to do this.
Yeah, this was great.
With that, I am Jer Stays.
And I'm Randy Walker.
Thank you so much for listening to Your Daily Detroit. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around town.